Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got a filled up engine. In my thoughts, obsession. I will not stop, no, I'm never second guessing. I got a God complex. Haters love to hate, but I never feel pressed. Got a lot on my plate, but I never get stressed. I'll take all the pressure like I'm acing this test. Tear it up like I'm Jason. I see the world like it's ready for the taking. I see this place like a game I'm playing. Straight to the bank to collect my payments. No negotiations, it's my way, I was born impatient. And like a damn Freemason, I'll run this nation.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Hey guys, just doing a short review for Extraction 2. Probably the best action movie this decade so far. I mean, we're still early in, but you know, like, probably the best action I've seen in a long time, like in years, man. Like, damn, just that one take scene in the movie where they're in the prison, then end up getting like some car chase, and then just where they end up. Like, man, it's just, this movie's crazy. When it comes to the action, I think I kind of prefer the first movie's story. Yeah, I feel like that was better, but I mean, the story's pretty decent in this compared to the John Wick films where the story's just so basic. Like, man. But, you know, John Wick needs to have some kind of reason to, you know, do what he does, but just the reasons they give to me is not as good as, you know, what these films give you. Where if you understand what Chris Hemsworth's character's been through, then yeah, man, you can get why he's doing all this, and especially at least to kind of give a better reason in the sequel to even have a sequel. Because to me, Extraction, the first one, should have just been one movie, but then after seeing the second one, then I was still happy to, you know, see a sequel. And man, the action was just insane. Like, easily beats any John Wick film. Even some of the best action films from the Marvel films, the Bourne films, like, man, it's up there. Because some of the Bourne films, they go hard, especially when it comes to hand. But man, Chris Hemsworth definitely got them hands. Yeah, he's got the gun skills like John Wick, but then the hands, oh my god, the best hands I've seen in a long time. Where he could be like Chris flipping Redfield. Man, like, he goes hard, like flipping, using like a shield like Captain America, and then just the flame hands is just, oh my god, the action's just, mwah. It's like a love letter to action. Like, man, I feel like what the peak action will be for me is always going to be Terminator 2, but man, this comes close, like top 5. I'm going that far, top 5, because that one take scene was just so impressive. No one made no mistakes in that scene. That scene went for like 15 to 20 minutes, and it was one take. Like, it felt like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm not even sure, but it was long because they went through like 3 different locations in one take with no mistakes. Just so impressive. I mean, obviously with some parts CGI, but still, one take, they did it that perfectly with no mistakes. Even they had some kid actors too, and they still made no mistakes. And then just the woman who's also helping Chris Hemsworth's character in this movie, who was kind of like a side character in the first one, helps so much in the sequel, and she just becomes more lovable than just feeling like a background character. Even the other guy too, like, he just seemed like a background character, but then he helps a lot. And just by the end, when they're all fighting together, trying to take down the Russian brothers, it's just done so well. Since this movie basically exists because I guess his wife's sister or something gets taken and their kids. So he basically does a favor for his wife, which, if you know the story for the first one, like, he lost his son. So he ended up, you know, drifting apart from his wife and just doing these kind of jobs. Because when his son died, he was like doing some service in the army. But yeah, so he has so much guilt, and he's just trying to find a reason to live, even though, like, he keeps going in these kind of missions because he's just waiting to die, but I guess he wants to die with honor, though. He wants to go out the right way, yeah. And by the time you actually get to see the wife in this movie, because we didn't really get to see it in the first one, just like flashbacks with the son, you actually get like a really good moment with them too. Yeah, just to let things out, and just the way how it ends too is just, it's a pretty good film, man. So I guess for the last minute, I guess just spoilers, yeah. So yeah, 3, 2, 1. So where do we even start, man? I don't even know where to start. Because basically, there's these Russian brothers who have just been through so much crap, so they end up building their own organization to get revenge on people and just they kind of end up being worse than the people who treated him like crap. And then it ends up with the sister kind of getting taken by him and the kids. So they're basically doing what was done to them to other people. Yeah. Because even the father's a part of it. But then Chris Hemsworth, he goes to rescue, his family, kills, I guess, their father, which makes the son not really happy. So later on in the movie, when he's got him to like a safe place, he kind of calls the other brother where they are. That ends up going to hell, and one of the members ends up dying. One of the characters who was a lot better in this film, I can't really remember his name. My brother just called him the comedy guy because he just always makes jokes to Chris Hemsworth. Also cool seeing Idris Elba in this film, Heimdall and Thor. I mean, just to give the information of what he needs and stuff, and kind of helps him out in the end, because by the end they kind of get all arrested. And yeah, just a woman who was, who basically helped Chris Hemsworth survive the first movie. Just kicks so much ass and just makes it so believable instead of looking fake. Yeah, this movie's just done so well. And then the comedic guy ends up getting killed by one of the Russian brothers. And then it just ends with them going to like a church, because even though they got the daughter to safety, like the son kind of ends up going with one of the brothers, the remaining brother. So then Chris Hemsworth goes in to try and save him, because I mean his sidekick wanted to go with him, like that woman, but he didn't really want anything to happen to her, but she still finds her way there anyway. And then it gets killed. I mean, she nearly gets killed a few times in this movie, but she still kicks ass. Yeah, at least she survives. And then he kind of takes care of the Russian guy in such a badass way, and it kind of reminded me of like a Rush Hour a bit, with the kid having the bomb on him. I mean, he's not saying push the goddamn button, but he's still really helpful in the end after being so unlikable compared to the kid in the first one. Like he was, man. We were watching the first one before watching this. Like he was a top tier kid actor, because most of the time when you watch these kind of movies, the kids tend to be the ones who are just annoying and make so many mistakes. But he was perfect. Like the kid from the first one, like man, the character development and everything, like so good. You don't normally see that, because I've seen some of the worst in Buffy and Angel, if you know what I mean. Like man, and some other stuff like movies. There's only a few that I could say were actually good, like the Rush Hour one and stuff. And, the one from the first Extraction. This one at least kind of does the right thing in the end to help, Chris Hemsworth and the woman who's trying to help him. And then he apologises to her at the end because it looks like she's dying, but they get her to safety, but then they all get arrested. The wife kind of visits Chris Hemsworth in prison. They kind of like let out things and just, come to terms with stuff. And it seems like she's not going to get to see him again, but he's going to do a mission to basically get him and his friend out of prison, basically, because it makes to do with Idris Elba, and that sets up like the third Extraction film. Yeah. Man, so entertaining when it comes to the action. When it comes to the story, I prefer the first one. Just the chemistry with him and that Indian kid, and just sharing like his struggles with just everything he's been through after he lost his son. Yeah, and just the way how they handled that film was just so good. Yeah, and I need to review it next time when the third one comes out. Yeah. But yeah, that's my review of Extraction 2. What did you think? Did you think it was so flipping epic like me? Like, my god, that one take scene just alone is just gonna... I mean, even Chris Hemsworth saying that's probably like the most proudest moment of his life. I mean, so you're saying something like that, maybe not that, but probably one of the best things he's ever done in his career, because Jesus, just watching that, that's like top tier, like top 5 or 3 action scenes, so yeah. But yeah, just gonna end here, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next one. Peace.